take place. Back to the mall in the old school days, kicking it back with stories exchanged. This is before everything changed. Oh, 245 at Mickey D's, Sears catalogs and memories. Eclectic is taking you back. Just turn the page. Took me far. Everything changed.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, download, streaming, all of the stuff you hear. You know what I can't say I miss, but you know what was great? I'll tell you what was great. The early days watching TV, like pre-cable. Like we only had three channels. We had three channels plus the little tuner. You had to actually change the channel. You you could channel flip because it was only like three options, four options. We had ABC, CBS, NBC, a couple of local joints, and like TBS. That was it. The local joints and TBS, you'd have to change. This is when you had the two dials. You had to change the top dial to like U, and then the bottom. Like, why were all those channels? Why were all those numbers on the dial? It was like three, but it went from like 10 to 100. But anyway, so you had to use the antenna. Pull out the antenna if the signal wasn't strong. We had a joint out of Cincy, um, WXIX, I think. And then WGN, we had WGN from Chicago, and TBS was from Atlanta, the Turner joint. That was it. And everybody watched the same shows, had the same time, talked about what happened the next day. So the writing had to be good. Maybe the writing didn't have to be good because even if it was trash, it wasn't nothing else. So we had to talk about it. But like if you didn't watch or like the shows all the time, it was nothing else to do. You go outside. We back then we'd beg to go outside and beg to not come back in. We go in the house for food, drink, and that's about, maybe not even drink, because if somebody had the fucking thing on the side of their house and the green hose, sometimes you didn't even need the hose. You just put your neck for water. We didn't want to go in because if you went inside, you ran the risk of, oh, so you in now. No, I wasn't. No, I'm not. I'm not in. I'm not in. I came to get fucking some Kool-Aid, and now I'm about. Sometimes they'd be like, "Yo, what happened?" Now you went in. Shawshank, you can't come back out. So, but we would only go in. We didn't even go in to use the restroom. It was a tree garage. So, hey man, we go. Look, it wasn't a thing. If we didn't go outside, we'd find ways to entertain ourselves. If you're inside and you don't want to watch one of the three channels, write write stories, write fucking raps, just draw, listen to music. Be creative. Like, you playing with toys, you coming up with a whole storylines and betrayal, all types of plot points. Like, we didn't really talk on the phone that much. I didn't. You only had one phone, and you get in trouble for tying the lineup. And it was at that time there was no call waiting. So if you talked on the phone, it wasn't for long because anybody else tried to call, they get a busy signal, and then that was it. Also, All of your friends were outside, so why would I be inside and talk to them? Like, yo, what you doing, man? Come outside. Fuck out of here. And anyone who lived far, you just chalk it up. You see them in school. There's no reason to call any. When you were a kid, there was no reason to get on the phone ever, unless you were trying to. It was a girl, vice versa. You were trying to see what was up. Because also, later on in life, when you got call waiting in three-way, that's how you get all caught up. Like, yo, I thought you didn't like such and such. I didn't. Oh, she on the other. Okay. And entrapment. It was young entrapment. But you would go over people's house. You would never call first. No one did that. In the 80s, no one called to see if you were home before they came over. You just come over, and if you weren't home, oh well, you just go do something else. And knock on the door, like, yo, can they come out? Are they at home? Yeah, boom, bam. No, oh, all right, well, go with somebody else's house. Go home. Go draw out. Who cares? It was never that big of a deal, and nobody either way felt a way like, yeah, why are you showing up? This didn't happen until fucking the 90s, late 90s. For real. You just show up like, hey, what's up? Nothing. All right, let's go do some shit. All right, bet. That was it. We play video games, but see, this was different kind of video games. 80s, most of the 90s. This was when playing video games solo, that was regulated to like when it was raining or snowy, or you were sick, or if you're in my case, you were in trouble or something. Then you didn't really play with friends because most times you couldn't have company, or your parents just didn't want no randos in their house. So you'd have to play with your brother or sister or cousin or really close friends of the family that could come in. So it was never, but it was still better because when you did play against somebody, they were on the couch or on the floor, and you would actually have fun. And when you won or did something or achieved something, it was somebody there to whatever the fuck. You have pizza and snacks and soda, and you would just have a time. You like a headphone fucking playing with who God knows who, and you're like, oh yeah, I won, yeah, all right, fucking hard ER, and then you get off the thing. I don't know. It was just different. And so you would play, but see, back then, if you didn't have an Atari or a Nintendo or Sega Master System, shouts to the Sega Master Systems, you would wait until you had your own TV, which forever. I mean, my first one was a little black and white, but you go to the arcade. Little corner stores that had arcades. We had a record store that had 3 or 4 arcade games. You put your quarters in there and have a blast. You lost, like, all right, well, we don't have any more money. Let's go get on the bikes and do some shit. But you also played board games. You played board games and cards and same rules, but at least you could play those with your parents. I'd play board games by myself to practice. So when I did play with my parents, I'd crush them. Or, family, aunts, uncles, you would actually play Monopoly or fucking Scrabble or Spades or fucking Bidwest. Such a fucking time. It's just those days, we didn't have as much things that we have now. And like, on one hand, yeah, it would have been dope on a snow day to be able to play what are we doing, Lakers versus Celtics, or a double dribble with somebody across town because you couldn't get out, and you play online, I guess. But it would be regulated to just because you can't come over and I can't come, we literally can't go outside. But nobody wants to do that now. I think the simpler times, because we actually lived through it, it was in a lot of ways better. lot of ways better. But, you know, throughout the time on this show, we'll talk more about what was better and what was different and what was worse. I just thought about that. Those early days of the cable, of having no cable. I got to do a show about when we got cable, but just having really 4 channels. That's why everybody's grandmothers was watching the soap operas. That was it. Wasn't nothing else going on at home. You used to listen to them on the radio. So that was it. And then game shows. But anyway, listen, I appreciate you guys listening. And if there's other things that you remember or want to talk about or think I should do a show, let me know. In the meantime, in between time.
This is before everything changed.
Before everything changed.